Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your old pal, the original gamer, StevieStrow, and I'm back at you here with another exciting game for the Radio Shack TRS-80 color computer, also known as a Coco. The game I'm playing with you today is called Buzzard Bait. Let's take a look. So, Buzzard Bait by Tom Mix Software, released in 1983, created by the Rugby Circle. What this was a clone of a very, very popular arcade game known as Joust. And in Joust, one or two players cooperatively were flying ostriches and had to fight against other enemies on flying ostriches. So let's take a look at this. So here's my dude. I'm flying on an ostrich. You have these floating islands here, which are the only things you can rest on. And now materializing on the screen are other jousters. Now, in order to win the joust, you have to make contact, and your lance needs to be higher than their lance. Now, what happens is when you knock a dude off of his ostrich, oh, I just got killed. When you knock a dude off of his ostrich, it drops the egg. You have to pick up the egg to completely defeat your opponent as well as get a few extra points. If you don't gather the egg, and that one actually was a mid-air catch, if you don't gather the egg, it can actually rehatch and load a jouster of a higher level of difficulty. Now, this computer only displayed 4 colors, but in the arcade, this was a much more colorful game, and the color of the rider on the ostrich would indicate what level he was and how difficult he was. So whenever an egg would rehatch, it would change colors and indicate it was a much more difficult opponent. And this could have happened multiple times, possibly that an egg kept hatching and the rider kept getting more and more difficult. So I got them all, but this was wave 2, which was a survival wave. Had I not gotten killed, I would have gotten an extra bonus for surviving the entire wave with no conflict. But that didn't happen. Now, what happens is the longer you play as well is that the playing field starts to change, and some of the islands will eventually disappear. You can see now there was a platform on the ground. The lava is burning away that platform, so what used to be your guaranteed safe haven, which was the bottom of the screen, that's gone now. The entire bottom is no longer safe. Just the middle of the bottom is a safe spot, and I'm just getting killed left and right. Thy game is over. That was how the game ended in the real arcade too, although it had a slightly fancier font, kind of like a script looking font. So you just saw an egg hatch there, and now the dude's picking him up, and you see that he is blue. We actually see 3 different color riders here. We see a red, a white, and a blue rider here, and so they all are indicative of a certain level of skill that your enemy opponent is. Let's try this one more time. I'm going to do 1 player, and the cool thing about this was you could have 2 players playing at the same time, which definitely made it a little bit easier taking out the bad guys. So let's try this one more time. Prepare to joust. Wave 1, Buzzard Bait. And the waves had different names too. And so I believe that was the actual name of Wave 1 in the arcade was Buzzard Bait. At some point in time, you come up with a wave that where when you start that wave, I just got killed, the whole playing field is filled with eggs, and it's like a bonus round. You have to try to pick up as many eggs as you can before they hatch for points, and any ones that hatch obviously turn into bad guys that you have to fight. So there were some variations where the playing field would change from time to time. There were some bonus rounds, and then there were also extra things that came out. So the bottom of the screen would burn away starting in wave 3. Right now, this blue platform that I can walk over. On wave 3, that burns away. Later on in the game, if you get too close to the lava, a hand would come up from the lava and try to grab you and pull you down. And then there was also a pterodactyl. I know I always pronounce that word wrong. It's pronounced pterodactyl. But there's a pterodactyl, you know, one of those dinosaur birds. One of those things would actually fly by at some point in time in the game and try to kill you. And in the original arcade, it would always say, beware of the unbeatable ? Pterodactyl. So implying that you could possibly kill him, but most people didn't know how to. So when you saw that pterodactyl, you pretty much wanted to get out of its way. But I believe there was a certain spot. I believe your joust had to hit it precisely in the mouth to kill it. And I'm getting killed like crazy. Now, because this computer did not have the same resolution as the arcade, and because the game designers chose to make the characters very large, you actually have a little bit slightly more, see, there's a pterodactyl. you have a little bit more restricted playing space than you did in the arcade. In the arcade, you had a little bit more breathing room. And yes, yeah, so the pterodactyl just flew by here, and I just got killed. So you know what? I'm not going to torture myself or you any longer. But yeah, this game was called Buzzard Bait. It was a clone of Joust. There was at least 2, possibly 3 different Joust clones that I can remember for this computer. So as I find them and go through them, I will definitely showcase them for you. This is the first one that happened to come up. But this was your preview. Look at this. There's 3 pterodactyls on the screen right now. 4. That is really interesting. Those were the unbeatable pterodactyls. And this was Buzzard Bait. So I hope you enjoyed this preview. I am the original gamer, StevieStrow. If you liked this video, give it a big fat thumbs up and mash the like button. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button. Throw me a comment. Tell me what you thought. Share this video with your friends. Share my channel with your friends and help spread the word that OG StevieStrow is a cool guy and you should all check him out. Tell your friends, tell your parents, tell your neighbors. I'll see you all next time. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye now and peace out, everybody.